this rocket.
Welcome to Silicon Valley Impact, where business insight meets startup innovation. Brought to you live from Silicon Valley, California. Please give a warm welcome to your host, Mr. Brian Sparks.
Oh, Brian, you got those pipes warmed up, sounding great.
A little extra for you, Brian.
A little extra. All right. Love the audience. Love what we're doing here. Good to see you, Brian.
Hey, it's nice to see you too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Seems like a long time since last week somehow.
Yeah. Well, I think we've deployed a different strategy in how we launched the YouTube channel.
Yes.
And that kind of threw us off.
A little bit, but
Yeah.
I kind of like it, although I did not take the time to see if it was effective.
No, it was.
And was it?
Yeah.
We know this?
Yeah.
And since we're on the topic, anybody that is now currently watching or listening, if you're on YouTube especially, subscribe right this second. Just hit the subscribe button. It takes nothing. It costs nothing. It's easy. It's quick. And it makes us, better versions of who we want to be. Wouldn't you agree, Brian?
Very sentimental, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
Very vulnerable. I love that.
So the new thing is we're launching the YouTube video early.
Yeah, having our guests. So Ray will tell you all about it in a minute. Having our guests promote the show, the YouTube channel, and then we'll.
I'm showing the YouTube channel to the people who are watching YouTube,
and then we'll roll out the Apple Podcast and Spotify on the regular time,
as per the regular on Tuesdays at noon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're really pushing for that. So those of you who are enjoying the show, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is our newest baby, and so we need to cultivate that a little bit.
Yeah.
Sound good?
And get those subscriptions up, and everybody can see your beautiful face, Brian, and all of your beautiful guests.
Of course, yeah, because I am the eye candy for the show.
Indeed, you are. You are for me.
All right, so
I got Jason back here.
Jason in the background.
Yeah,
a lot going on
he's our
in the
guest
studio.
Today.
Okay, and I also want to give a shout out to a lot of exceptional VCs, a lot of startups that are getting funded. There's a lot of motion happening now in Silicon Valley and the world over. So if you have a story, if you love chatting about what you're building, we'd love to have you on the show. So reach out to me, Brian at SiliconValleyImpact.com. Love to talk with you.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I feel like, Brian, it's a new year. And I'll tell you why.
It's August.
Yeah, it's August. I'll tell you why.
Okay,
ready
go
for
ahead.
this? All right, our guest today is really one of my favorites.
Hold on a minute.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Okay,
we're going to get there.
Go ahead.
All right, ready?
My guest today is?
Yeah, our guest today, Ray, who we're going to be introducing in a second, produces one of the best conferences in Silicon Valley and Dubai, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah, in Dubai. So we're going to geek out a little bit about that. But
what's
August,
the conference called?
We're going to get to it, Brian.
Oh, geez, I'm all over the place here. You're teasing me, and I don't know, and I'm concerned.
But here's what's happening August and now in September is that venture season is kicking off. So people are raising, just a lot of more
it's
events.
kicking off. Oh,
yeah,
good.
A lot of events
wow.
are happening, and who we're talking about today and what we're talking about today it is really kind of the starting gun of a lot more to come because we have SF Tech Week, Oakland Tech Week. We got a lot of stuff coming up. So that's why it feels like it's all the VCs who are listening in startups. They know this is the kickoff. This is the time of year.
Well, and I know that every time I've asked you for the last several weeks, what have you been up to? The answer's been napping and sleeping.
Yeah. Well, summer's over. Summer's over, Brian. The work needs to be done. Yeah.
Hey, did you hear the news today? Did you hear the big news today? I know this is not tech related, but really, I think for all of us that are our age, it's important. Did you hear?
Now I'm on the edge of my seat.
Dolly Parton has departed this world.
What?
I just heard that. That's correct. Yeah.
Oh, no.
My wife
I mean,
just
this is
sent it.
iconic stuff. This is up there, in my opinion, with like the Princes and the David Bowies and the John Lennons of the world.
I was hoping to see her in Vegas. I wonder why she canceled. I didn't know it was that bad. And hear me out. Last month, I went to Tennessee, saw Alan Jackson's last conference, and I saw Dolly Parton's new truck stop that she personally opened just a few days earlier. It happened so quick.
She's an icon and a huge trailblazer for women and musicians and female musicians and entrepreneurs. I mean, she just did it everything, and she always did it with grace and, in my opinion, with style. And she will be greatly missed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I saw Alan Jackson last year.
You saw him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
In
great.
Austin.
Yeah, so good. All right, Brian.
right,
Well,
moving
thanks.
on. Yeah, sure.
I didn't
What an
know.
introduction, Brian.
I just like to bring the mood down as far as possible, see, before we start
Felt I
the
was
show.
like starting lineup for the NBA Finals for a second.
I know. We like to cover both ends of the spectrum. All right. Well, first off, I want to welcome everyone to Silicon Valley Impact. I'm your host, Brian Sparks. That man with the great smile and the good head of hair is Brian Bernasconi. The purpose of this show is to have honest conversations about what it takes to build great businesses and communities so that you can make an impact
Within your own. Give you a little bong there.
All right, little extra.
Yeah, a little extra. Within your own, Brian.
Within your own. All right,
I don't know what this is. I want to flash you some sort of within your own gang signal, but I don't know what it is.
We'll come up with it. We'll get there.
Okay, later. A special handshake.
All right, so I'm super excited about today's conversation. I got a great individual, and that's really the prerequisite to being on the show. I know there's a lot of people that accomplish great things, but really I love great people. And there's this man who's here today is no exception to the rule. Ray Dargham, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah.
After a few tries, we made it happen.
I know. I've been pushing. There are a handful of people that I've been trying to get on the show for a long period of time, and you were on that short list, so I'm super excited for you to be here. Thank you for coming out. You've got a lot going on, but for those of you in Silicon Valley Impact world, give a little quick intro who you are and what you're building.
Yes, I'm Ray Dargham, the founder and CEO of STEP. And STEP is a global conference platform for startups and founders and investors. We do 2 major conferences around the year, one here in San Francisco in Silicon Valley, and the second one we do in the winter in Dubai. So kind of, 2 major hubs. Obviously, Silicon Valley, the heart of tech, is where we host. This week is our third STEP San Francisco. On Thursday.
The third one.
Yeah, that's the third.
It feels like you guys just been you've made such an impact the last 2 years that I've been a part of it.
It's been longer than that?
It feels like, because it was such a great event last year. And of course, seeing who's in the lineup this year, it just feels like you have had your stamp here for at least a decade.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Silicon Valley is such a special place, and the energy is unmatched compared to anywhere else in the world. This year specifically, we'll get into the details, but there's around 12 different what we call satellite events happening around the conference. And it's just all the partners and the community and people we have. Everyone is so excited to create and make things happen around the conference. It's really not that hard to because of that energy to get these satellite events going and have different things happening around the conference. And we came. Our first conference here, especially with San Francisco, was around 2022, 2023. Considering where to do it and how to do it, and the city has also changed so much since.
That was during the kind of the tail end of the pandemic. So you really were like, we got to get everyone out, is what you essentially said.
Yeah, and just seeing how much the city has improved and so much a lot of people have come back. And the energy, it's amazing.
Yeah, I loved how you really grabbed onto that. And those of you who've been listening the last couple months, we've been promoting STEP, and again, I would love to invite everybody out. And it's Thursday, right? Thursday, and this happens it's going to be happening every year. In August, and Dubai, you said, is in the winter. What month is it? In February 3rd and 4th. But it's a good point you made that this is like the new year for the venture and startup space, because some people go on vacations in August, and it's like the end of summer. So technically, that's when things kick off for the next, I guess. You're the opening act, bro.
We're the opening act.
No pressure. I love it.
It's like game day. It's like the opening season.
It is.
Yeah.
The opening act usually is on the main act. So as long as maybe we can make it to the main act one day.
You are the opening show. All right. So what I like to cover with you, because sure, there's the production, right? There's what you've built, but this just didn't happen overnight. And I'm a big fan of people who know how to build community, who go to market by building a following, really paying attention to what people need and what you want. So let's back up with you for a little, because again, we'll get heavily into how you've built STEP and what it is today. But where did it really begin for you? Someone who's built this great community, was there an experience in your childhood that you said, okay, no, community is the pathway? Did you have a mentor? Where did it all start for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel it's like various things. So I grew up wanting to play like pro basketball. I
Still playing today.
I kind of like got back into it. Obviously, at some point I realized I wasn't that, tall enough to be that, and I probably could be good at other things. But
and you were born and raised where?
I was born and raised in Lebanon. So I grew up in Lebanon, and when I was in high school,
didn't take the soccer route, huh?
I did not. No,
okay. Right.
Actually, I was pretty good at basketball. We had better than soccer, I'd say, in terms of like industry. Yeah.
There's at least one a Lebanese NBA player in the NBA now.
Former one, Rony Cycle. He played with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's like the main Lebanese player. But we've made it to the like World Cup, and so I wanted to play pro there, not NBA. So fast forward in high school. And I lived in Canada for a little bit, went back and came across this program in school, which is part of something called Junior Achievement Worldwide. Mm-hmm. So it's like a program. It's actually a U.S. organization, but they have different kind of like branches all around the world. And what they do is they go into schools and the classroom, and one of their programs called the company program, where they put as a classroom, you form like a team, like you're in a company, you elect CEO and assign like head of marketing, etc. And you have to create a product. It wasn't fully virtual company. It was like you have to create an actual product and raise money from like friends and family and so on, and you run through a program. And that was like a super like eye-opening for me. I think I was I became delusional for a while that I even forgot about school. I was just like,
how old were you at the time?
This was high school, so I was like 17. Yeah. And I was so into it. Like we started the program, and it was me and my classmates.
And it just clicked for you.
It was like, just the feeling is like I knew that's what I love doing.
That's where you caught the bug. I always ask founders and investors where they caught the bug. So you caught it early with these programs.
Very early, with that program. Because, in school, education is the same everywhere. It's like, some things you're interested in, some things you're not. This was just like the passion and the love that came out immediately. So we ran the program, and then we won the competition. It's like 3 months, you win the competition, you go to another country, compete with other like winners from other countries.
Nice.
So that was like a fabulous experience, just in terms of like, wanting to build something, right?
Yeah.
But then I graduated, went to college, and then you kind of go back to like square one, and along with everybody else, getting a degree, getting a job, and so on.
You were on the treadmill of life. You were finishing what you thought you were supposed to do, but you had that experience.
I still wanted that, but you think like, I'm not going to be able to start an actual company now. Let me go to college and just be like everybody else, be normal. So I went to college. And while I was studying, thinking that when I go get a job, I was in college doing something called Toastmasters. I don't know if you
the communications program.
I was running like the club, and I started a couple of clubs, so I had like a good community around Toastmasters, which is, the setting is like not a workshop, but, you meet weekly and you have public speaking and leadership and so on. So that was kind of my community that was there. And into college, I realized like I did some internships at like consulting firms and whatever. I realized like this is I don't have that same feeling I had when I did the program.
It stuck with you,
so I was in search of that, but in some way you're stuck in the just the path that you see everyone around you, taking.
So real quick, I'm hearing some common characteristics that I see in other greats. So what I'm hearing is, number one, you were in sports. And again, being competitive, building, something around a team, and being active and being strategic. Really, there's a great foundation in playing sports. I mean, you still play
Absolutely.
It now. Yeah.
Very competitive. You have seen me on the court.
I often hear, though, but some of the greatest co-founders, salespeople are those who were in sports or the military, because of the drive that they have.
Well, the discipline and the routine, and knowing that strength equals success.
Yeah.
Sports are like yeah, I think it's. But also there are. To go back a little bit, like I actually had to force myself to. I didn't play basketball for many years. I had to like step away from it intentionally, although it was very difficult because I knew that my head was so much into the game, but I had to take that decision of I found something else and I know that I'm probably better at that. I see a lot of other people that gets stuck into sport. They don't make it. Like professionally, but they're still stuck in like their life is still stuck in the game, and they don't identity, they don't move on to. So I think it's fine to shape your identity, but I think at some point you have to move on to other things.
Right.
Like if you're, I don't know, you're 20 and you're not going to make it into, pro, but you still go and spend half of your day playing pickup basketball.
Yeah. So there's another thing you mentioned. So you had the kind of sports era. Then there was this awareness that you needed to kind of like balance your life a little bit. But the other piece was the importance of communication. Again, I can't tell you how many times we've had people who are very successful come in here and be just great, phenomenal, speakers. I mean, we have Chris Ye in here. Was it last week or the week before? Amazing communicator.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you combine just good person, great communication skills, and being smart, dangerous. Right, dangerously, just like can really make a dent in the universe. And it sounds like you kind of had those characteristics emerge in you early. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think in one way or the other, I was like in search of something as well, right? So I like when I went and sometimes like more serendipity, like I didn't plan it all like very carefully. Just you just wanted to do stuff and ended up, like I said, in Toastmasters, and I wasn't technical. So, and at that time where I was as well, you didn't have any like founders starting tech startups or whatever. Maybe I could have done that if I was like technical but I found myself, I wanted to start something when I was in college. So I decided I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to start a company.
And you were still overseas. You hadn't.
Yeah, I was still in college. I was at the American University of Beirut, which is one of like 150-year-old American university. I decided I wanted to do that, and then I was like, I'm in Toastmasters. I'm in college. What product can I build that I can actually sell?
Yeah.
Because what can you actually build that's valuable? And I had my community and my network, which was like I was running multiple clubs. So I had the network there.
Okay. So we glossed over that again. So this capacity to want to rally around a team, your community, you were just immersing yourself in that.
Yeah, correct. So I was in that setting at that time. I wanted to create a company, and one thing I loved, I always had like neck for like creativity and just like creating experiences and all of that. So one thing I noticed that a lot of the business kind of like events or workshops, whatever, happen at hotels and boring settings and so on. So I was like, okay, part of that is not just creating, an event, it's how it's done, how it's delivered. So when I was in college, I went and partnered with art galleries. I partnered with art galleries. I was very early in even partnering. Like I remember the food was like a restaurant that was offering like healthy kind of like sandwiches. This was like early compared to where we're at now. Now it's more popular, but at that time wasn't that popular.
So you were already thinking creatively, and I just want to kind of grab our audience really quick because this is to me, again, I can geek out on this stuff. What you're listening to, the purpose of today's show is really how to build communities and go to market with a message and make an impact. And so what Ray is really kind of dissecting for us right now, and those of you who are founders, this is going to be the wave of the future, is your capacity to identify how to go to market through building community. And again, if you can't build trust and stand out, I don't think that the best product always wins. It's those who connect and have the capacity to build communities and relationships effectively are the ones who win because they understand the pain points. Because you started to see where the gaps were in terms of building, right?
Correct.
And you always wanted to build in community.
Correct. Yeah. So I had a like community that was there, and then I need to build something for them because I knew that was probably like for somebody to buy something, which I was selling a ticket at that time from a college kid. They need to trust you to a certain, and I had a community that trusted me to a certain extent. So that add on top of that is okay, go and kind of I spent, so what that wasn't a conference, it was a 6-hour workshop. I spent months researching, reading books, listening to like various like videos, and putting together a 6-hour like experiential like workshop.
Nice. What was the topic?
So it was a lot of it. Wouldn't say it's entrepreneurship. It's a mix of that and like performance and personal development stuff. I have no idea how people sat and listened to me for 6 hours. Like, I listened to myself for 6 hours, but a lot of people found it valuable and managed to sell them tickets, or they paid for the tickets because they had to prove that they're gonna.
I used to do that around emotional intelligence for leadership, so I get it.
Yeah, it was kind of like around that as well. But that was the birth of STEP. So that was like how STEP got kind of like started.
And from there, now you went into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, then it converted into becoming more of like moved on to like a mini conference.
And you were still how old were you at the time?
So that was probably like 20 years old. Yeah. So I did that, and then as soon as I graduated, I moved to Dubai because it's like the hub, and a lot of things were happening. Slept on my brother's couch for.
And it was
for a
all
year.
about you went there to create events around entrepreneurship and business.
I went there to continue what I had started, right? So no job, nothing. Just even that wasn't making money at that time.
Yeah.
So just went to figure it out. Just like I don't know, filmmakers go to LA and try to figure it out.
Like a true founder.
Tech people come here, and
I love it.
And yeah, that was the start, and we were just there at the right time, and the conference just kept like multiplying year after year. Like Dubai one now gets about.
So that's where it all. So once again, that's where it all began for you.
That's where it began. Yeah.
Okay. So when we come back, Brian, we're going to do our little thing. We're going to continue this conversation of building this community. What STEP looked like in the early years. Brian, take it away.
Brian, as you know, and people who've listened to the show, I'm a big fan of Morales HR. You know this, right? You're a big fan.
Yeah. You like my shirt?
Yeah, of course.
And our water.
And so we're just going to remind you that Morales HR is a human-centered recruiting executive search firm that's built for today's business demands. Because, of course, Brian, what is your biggest competitive advantage?
Talent.
Talent.
Yes.
But only if you hire right, Brian. So from full-time contract roles across North America, Morales HR connects you to the talent your company needs, right? These are real people. This is real experience, and these are real results. If you're falling behind on hiring, you want to contact Morales HR, moraleshr.com, moraleshr.com. Thank you very much.
All right. Well said. Yeah, and you like my shirt, so thanks again, Shelly, for the shirt and the water, the branded water. Appreciate it.
And the support and the love.
Yeah, great individual.
Yeah.
Did you Ray? Did you like the ad fairy? could you imagine doing a fireside chat and then tell your guest at one moment, say, "Hey, one moment," and then Brian comes across.
And then I come out on stage.
Hey, if it's Brian, I think it can work.
I'm available.
You just gave me an idea.
He'll put
Do I got to put on like the ad fairy wings or something?
If the price is right.
Yeah, damn. Just let me know when you need me. I'll be there.
Yeah, get your sponsors now.
Yeah. Good call, Brian. Thanks for the plug.
All right. So we're talking with Ray. He's unpacking what happened in the early years to form STEP, kind of how he was thinking. And for most of us in Silicon Valley who've done events, and I know a lot of you listen to the show, we've realized that, hey, we like to just, throw an event around what we're doing. But Ray, because there's no mystery why you're successful now. You literally went to Dubai and said, I'm going to build this. You may knew a handful of people, but from there, you just
didn't know anybody.
You didn't know anybody.
Nobody. Yeah. And that starts with your, like, even when I came to Silicon Valley, I knew more people because, of what I had done already. And we had a lot of people that used to come to the other conference from Silicon Valley. But I'd say all will have the same, you start from the same foundation and you build it up when you want to build a community. Mm-hmm. I think the things I've learned is you have to start small and focus a lot on the one-on-one conversations and relationships first.
Yeah.
So it's about, you don't come start a community from the top, right? Like you come in and just want to bring everyone. It's very important to engage very specific people from that community in a one-on-one setting and build friendship and relationship with these people. There might not be many, so it could be 3-4 people, right? Even if you're building 1,000 people community, but 3-4 people make a big difference because they go from that to being friends and having that relationship, and then also being kind of like ambassadors or super fans of what you're trying to build. And after that, you need to actually deliver. So even deliver in the eyes of those people that you build this relationship with, and they're the ambassadors for your community. So you have to, whatever that product is that you build, whether it's an event or it's another kind of product, consumer product, tech product, whatever it is, at some point you need to prove that you're not just talk, right? You can actually like deliver.
Let's double click on that for a second, because I think a lot of people think, Brian, can you turn off my mic a little? I think it went down a little bit.
I did turn it down a little bit. Yeah.
I like to hear myself loud and clear in my voice.
Yeah, you really do. Here, I'll give you a little extra. How's that?
It's like whispering into my own ear. I love it.
Everybody else can hear you just fine, though.
All right.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing is this important piece about engagement, because again, it's so easy to have this thought like, oh, I want to do an event and just throw open the doors, get a nice venue, put out some food, and hope they show up. But what I'm hearing for you, it's like you just went to Dubai, found one person, had a conversation that turned into 2 people. And you kept nurturing those conversations, and then those conversations and shared vision, I guess, and values just continue to grow. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. I mean, there are 2 parts of it, right? So one, you have to build this and convince the initial whatever number of people to show up to your event, right? Whether to buy a ticket or come up for free or whatever, but to just show up and be there. And then once they show up, that's where the product part comes in. In this case, it's an event. You have to deliver on it, and you have to really, create an experience that's special, that's memorable, and that's a whole other thing. How to do that, and how to think about that, and how to focus on the details. And events are a little bit like hospitality, right? You're entertaining people in one way or the other as well. So you want to.
And what were you like? Think back to that first event in Dubai. What was the product? I mean, you had a couple. Again, it wasn't the size of what it is today. But what was that first event that you held? Do you remember it like it was yesterday?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was. Well, first of all, I had to find a space, and we were the first event at one of the first co-working spaces in Dubai.
Yeah.
This guy I haven't seen in a long time. He's
and that's
Australian originally.
That's the creative part of you.
So you have to find a cool space that fits like what you're trying to do, and then sell it. I had to sell it to the owner there at that time. It's an Australian guy that was in Dubai, and he was also starting up, and he was extremely protective about the space and everything. And we also had on the day of the event, he called me. It's like, what the hell did you do? Like, I'm going to cancel the...
It's a house party.
Yeah.
The cops are showing up. The elephants are walking through the room.
Because I had moved things around. Anyways, but it ended up later, he, loved it. It helped him launch his space and become more known as well. But it's being very scrappy. It's extremely scrappy, right? So but you want to bring the pieces of the puzzle that you're trying to bring together. And it was just me using some students to help out.
Yeah, and it often comes together as it's happening, right? Where it's like you have a vision and you want certain things to happen, but for the most part, it's happening in real time.
And when you have no means, you don't have budget, you don't have money, you need to get extra creative to how to create an experience by partnering up with others.
Yes.
Bringing things in, doing the little things that people will notice. So that's what we did at the very first one. I remember actually we shot a video. So I had another friend who had a video production company. Again, I couldn't afford doing anything at that time. But I had a friend and he offered hey, I'll do it for free, I'll do the video for free. And then I called up friends, and people I knew to come and be in the video, in the promo.
Stand-ins, yeah.
So like me and my best friend, he was in it. I still laugh about it till today. Like he was on his BlackBerry, I think, at that time, walking out of the lift.
Pulled out my beeper. Yeah.
But the video was like amazing for, it was pulling in, favors from friends and people, around to create that. And that was the first event. And then what happens over time, I think one thing that's very special as well is the longer you do, like you said, this is your 100th or you've done 100 episodes. Mm-hmm. When you do something over a long period of time and people were part of it at some point, mm-hmm. they become like, they feel they kind of like part of that product or whatever you've built. Like we have people that, the ones that showed up to our conference, I don't know, back in like 2013 or 14, mm-hmm. like we were there. I still have the badge, or I still have the. We were there from the beginning. They feel like, and added sense of connection and belonging to what we've done. I find this to be like incredible. Then you see other stories. When you build a community, you start learning about other stories later. Like learn about people. A couple that have met and got married through our conference, or so many stories like that. Beyond like personal stuff, like beyond just a company that raised money through the conference, but even like personal stuff. Yeah. So once you accumulate these over time, that's where the community becomes many different people. You'll have ambassadors, you'll have super fans, you'll have people who are just new in the community, and that helps tremendously in the continuation of what we're doing, right?
What were some of your intentional motions? I mean, so you obviously were very scrappy and creative, building the events. It sounded like there was a lot of motions that intentionally went into cultivating the relationships post-event that kind of carried to the next. What were some of those experiences like? What were your thoughts after early events, and of course what are the motions now with STEP that you do in order to carry over this community and momentum to the next one?
I mean, like anything else, it's about consistency of your product that you deliver and the experience that you deliver. Consistency on one hand, and the other hand in events, especially like we were talking earlier, is very competitive space, right? I mean, everything is competitive, but you have to be creative. You have to always have an element of surprise or something that's that stands out and different. And have STEP is always also like always wanted to have like a cool factor. Whether it's in the music that's playing, like sometimes it's in the details, right? It's like what music is playing in the background when you're at the conference. You know, was that just given to anybody? Hey, just find a playlist that's for events and play, or did somebody actually like go and think through like every track, right? How thoughtful it is, right? So,
and you're like that. I remember, I think it was actually the first time I met you at one of the events, because I'd been online with you, talked to you on LinkedIn and emails. But you were so, obviously I know what it takes to go into an event, especially one the size of STEP. But you were in the hallways and kind of running around like most event producers do. But you stopped and were so intentional and thoughtful in our conversation when we first met. I said, there's why he's successful. It's because you're so thoughtful of what you put into something while you're doing something and after the fact.
Interesting,
and I saw that. I was like, that's the differentiator. You were very present. And I think a lot of people saturate the event market who aren't as thoughtful. I mean, don't get me wrong, great people, but it's like sports. You've got to have court vision, right? You got to have an awareness of what's going around, and most people get tunnel vision.
Awareness, is very important. I was probably like walking around to make sure there's any fires I need to put out.
No, and so you handled it so well, and you were so kind. The ones who do it really, really well, and I know a ton of them, in your top of that list. So again, for those of you who are listening and you're founders and you're going, well, I'm not in the event space. You are in the go-to-market space. And so your customers are needed to be treated the same way. And here's the thing, and we heard this I think last week on the show, Brian, is that a lot of founders in the early stage, and that's most of our audience, and even VCs who are raising, will just go after LPs or investors at volume. But it's really reverse. For every VC you go after, for every investor you go after, you should be going after 100 customers. meaning having those conversations like you did, getting to know what they want, engaging, getting follow-up, and really listening and understanding. Not just chasing the thing that you need in the moment, but what you need to do long-term. And this is clear in you, Ray, throughout your DNA of, building things, that you've constantly thought long-term, but at the same time been thoughtful about the people you engage with.
Yeah, and the strongest thing you can build is with any product or anything you're building is like, so people that love the brand or love what you're doing, like really love, and you'll have people that will just show up, or let's say to an event, or will just buy your product, but you're gonna have some people that will love it, like they love it, they wait for it. Let's say if it's like our, they wait for it, and they just go around and talk about. So,
well, they love it because you love it, is what I'm saying. And so I got to ask. This is the perfect time to ask my traditional question. And I want you to come back and finish your thought, but I got to ask right now, what is it when it comes to these events and doing these things, the step event in Dubai now and step event in San Francisco now and everything in between? What is it about what you're building that you love the most?
Obviously, I've been doing it for a long time, for 15 years, so it's not always, I'm not always motivated to do, especially when it comes to the day-to-day, of everything I do. But like anything else, it's it's certain things that I love doing. Certain things I like doing at certain times. Certain things I don't like doing at certain other times.
But you do it anyway.
You have to do
and
it
I
anyway.
think that's passion.
I mean,
though.
events have a lot of details, right? Everything from operations to marketing to sales. I think every phase you get excited about something as well. Like the last year, I've been very excited and pumped about just building agents within what we're doing. Because events, there's so much in manual tasks, so many. Like if there's something you want to automate, it's probably like, putting on, before you get to the actual day, but before that, like so much outreach, like sponsors, speakers, partners, startups, like investors. We're talking to hundreds of people, reaching out to thousands of people, and there's a lot of manual tasks involved. So the last year I've been very excited about just like building different agents and automating certain parts of what we're doing, and we've done actually amazing progress.
Are you bringing your own people, or are you learning it yourself?
No, just trying to learn it myself. Yeah, even like vibe coding and doing stuff like So that's been like very exciting, I would say, over the last year. And before that, there's been like a phase. Every period there was something that'd be like very excited about. But overall, things that I'm always excited about, like they never go away, is going back to the creative aspect of the conference. So all the things that are probably. And for other events, they're not even existent or not important, but for us, matter a lot.
That's huge. I mean, keeping it fresh is so huge. I mean, you can trot out. I mean, I think there'll forever be speakers and panels and that content, right? But what you do around it and who you're attracting in will always make it. I mean, it's always the people who come in and make it special. But it's obviously the leader who has cultivated that community that has make it extremely special. Brian, you look like you're leaning in.
Well. He's got a short video on his website from Step SF. Would it be worth playing?
Can you hear it? You can hear it.
I think we can hear it. I don't.
Visual?
You want to give it a try?
Yeah, let's take a look.
If we can't hear
if you're
it,
on
there's
YouTube.
audio, but there might be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
There it is.
It's short.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, there's my panel. Like it.
How much fun is that?
Yeah, that's great music. Very well done.
Very well done. I was kind of watching it over here and just sort of capturing the energy, right? Like how much is going on. And a lot of us have been to these conferences before, but it seems like it's got a special kind of personality that you've built that brings the energy, like you were talking about, the entertainment and that draw that makes people want to come back again.
Yeah, that feeling, like I think, like you said, maybe core vision, just being what feeling is in the room. I'm always looking, okay, how does the room feel? How do people feel, when I'm walking around in the stage?
And again, we've talked about this on the show before, that idea of catering to the feeling instead of just feature.
Yeah.
Right. That's a big shift, I think, from a lot of the engineering type of thinking that goes on in Silicon Valley, which is more human and more relationship based, which we talk about a lot on this show.
Yeah.
I think Silicon Valley actually does, like even the tech products, they do a great job at like that, like the feeling aspect. If you look at some of the big companies, including, I don't know, like Airbnb, for example, or like it's a feeling, right? Like it's when you're going to stay.
That's their tagline, isn't it? Just about.
I guess, yeah. But they're the founders, like that as an example, they come from a creative background. They're designers, right?
Yeah.
They love that creativity and that aspect to it.
Yeah. And if you can break, when it comes to startups or small business or any service that you're trying to provide or product you're trying to provide, it really does boil down to a feeling. Are you solving a pain? Right. And does it then take you to feeling good? And obviously marketing is a big piece of that. And so you've really embraced almost just naturally this feeling of what is necessary to draw people to events. And a sense of belonging is the big one, right? So Brian,
I got more.
Oh, you got,
Yeah, it's that time, Brian.
Is it that time?
Yeah, the ad fairy is here again for you.
Good. Well, this is one of my favorite moments of the show. And I want to remind everybody that Stack Ventures is transforming the real estate into a full stack ecosystem, solutions for the East Bay, residency, and global startups. Backed by Baring Capital, located in the heart of Uptown Oakland at 1900 Broadway and 1950 Franklin, Stack Space has 2 towers, over 1.5 million square feet of luxury living, and an AI innovation hub. Hey, you're pointing at something, right?
No, I'm mimicking your.
Oh, am I doing this? Am I doing a little?
Yes.
All right, okay. All right. Let me continue to conduct
sorry.
this.
I'm over here just having my own experience.
All right. EV mobile. It's my conductor finger.
I was just pointing my finger up like you were pointing your finger up. It's stupid and it's nothing. It shouldn't have been. It should not have been pointed out.
I was so confused. All right. 1.5 million square feet of EV mobility, office space, and access to one of the biggest startup ecosystems in the Bay Area. Check out stackspace.com. That's STAK, stackspace.com. All right, there we go. Got that out. Whew. And once again, I want to give a big shout out. Thank you to Red Bull and the team in the Bay Area for providing refreshments and cold drinks. We have the refrigerator out in the front lobby as well as Red Bull. Are you a fan of Red Bull, Ray? Or water?
Yeah, they sponsor. I don't drink it often. I drink yerba mate. I don't know if you know yerba mate.
Yeah.
I drink it hot and cold. But now they're competing with like other energy drinks as well. But Red Bull is, I see them everywhere. Especially like speaking about basketball in Lebanon, they sponsor they have the fridge always in the background.
Oh, they're good. Yeah.
No, and all the extreme sports. They produce amazing content for
absolutely. They're a content company.
Yeah, they're a media company.
A media company.
They're a media company as much as a beverage company.
Yeah, that happen to provide refreshments. Yeah, love them. So thank you again, Red Bull, for the drinks, refreshments, the refrigerator, and the support. So there's that. All right. So we're carrying on the conversation with Ray. We're talking about the importance of building community, how to build community, and STEP SF that's going on this week in the San Francisco Bay Area. Those of you who are listening, who are founders, and make no mistake about it, those of you who are VCs, you're going to have to go to market by building community. I truly believe that when the playing field is leveled out with all this AI and the tools, it's going to come back to your capacity to build trust, build community, have the capacity to engage, and build long-term relationship. That is the competitive edge. So super special to have Ray on the show today talking about how he's built STEP SF, also STEP Dubai, and his kind of insights on building community. So loved geeking out on this. What has been some of your, you talked about the challenges of staying creative and not necessarily taking away from the core of the events that you produce, but what have been some of the challenges of actually landing on the day of an event? Do you still get nervous, by the way? You get nervous a little bit, like no one was going to show up? Do you ever get that in the back of your head?
A lot less than before.
Yeah.
So that, what correlates with that is nightmares. before the event, you know, because that's one thing that you can't control. And just not me, it's also people like on the team, you know, because as you're getting closer to the event day, you can control how you feel during the day, but then that nightmare might show up at night where, like, I don't know, the event is empty or something went horribly wrong.
What do I do?
They've gotten better over the years for sure. And we've learned a lot, you know what to expect. But it is a stressful business because you're working up towards a specific deadline or day, and everything has to be ready at that time. And then as you get closer to it, there's so many moving parts, and it does get chaotic, and that's part of the game, right? You have to learn how to manage the chaos and stay creative and stay focused on the things that, you know, might not be like a priority, but are an important part of delivering the experience as you get closer to the event.
And how do you manage the mental fatigue? And I think for the founders who are listening, they experience the same thing, same but different. You got to see such a big picture, so your mind becomes very aware, but then you collapse in and have to focus. And that I call it. I used to have a term for it. It's called conscious breath. Your consciousness needs to be very aware, and then it needs to collapse, almost like lungs. It's the mental breath. How do you deal with do you get mental fatigue when things really get intense over a long period of time? And what do you do to kind of unwind?
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a one recipe like for how to. I think each have their own. Like for me, the only time I can like unplug is when I'm on the basketball court. That's when I can. Yeah. I'm probably plugged in still, but into something else. You know, that's the only time when I'm like, you know, not thinking about everything that's going on.
I drive. So I love to drive. Same thing. It's like you're forced to focus in on something. It's the ball or golf or whatever. Yeah. It's like it slows you down, but doesn't necessarily push it completely out of your mind.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think there's a misconception of like unplugging. You think that because the brain doesn't stop, right? Like there's no like on and off button. You know, maybe there are some people that can do that. Like
it's my nothing box. I have a nothing box.
Yeah,
talk about that later. Yeah, I don't think it is one thing. So
but you have to switch. Like you have to find something else outside what you do on a day-to-day basis that you can, you know, kind of like. For me, cooking, as I like to cook. That's also like.
And a lot of times it's the basic things, right? It's like the right amount of sleep, water, exercise, balance. I think that's those little things that people overlook. Food, the right eating. I mean, obviously, you know, Ray's a cook, but yeah, Brian, you talk a lot about changing your diet.
Incredibly important. The basics are incredibly important, but that's the same in sports, right? Like, I mean, whenever you're having a hard game, let's get back to the basics, right? And those are, like you just said, the exercise, the sleep, the food, right? Like taking care of your body so that it can perform at that high level and manage the stress and the chaos and all of the details.
Well, it comes full circle to sports, like you were saying, where you've got to take care of your body, you've got to rest in order to perform at a high level.
And recover.
And so you need to do that in order to produce a great product like you're doing with Step. Or if you're a founder who's listening, I think in Silicon Valley, we get this, let's work 120 hours a week and
sleep at the office,
multitask,
and eat a power bar twice a day, and then survive on coffee for the rest of it.
Yeah, and then show up on game day and perform at a high level.
Yeah,
I think that's nice in certain ways to go through like these experiences, and I don't see it also as like a. I don't believe in like work-life balance on like a day-to-day basis. It's not like a consistent like every day you're going to behave in a certain way. Like you might have. You know, if you're a founder and you're, I don't know, wartime for you and something wrong is going on, you're going to have to spend, and these are actually like also great experiences. Like if you go through a week when you and the team are like working, 100 hours and you're completely fatigued and destroyed, whatever. You're not going to do that like forever, right? Unless you're, I don't know, Elon or something. But most people do it for a certain period of time because, they're needed and they have to show up and it's part of the game, right? Endurance, like how much you can push, where you can get to. And I think these are the moments a lot of founders cherish later on, you know, like you look back, I remember that night when like, and probably something happened, there are, memories and experiences. but they have to, of course, like, to your point, they have to recover at some point. So whether that recovery comes in, next week or next month, or for some people maybe next year, I don't know, but it will come at some point for most people. So it's not like a consistent, like every day looks the same. It's not a consistent grind, and it's not a consistent, work-life balance or whatever you call it. It's and that's one of the great things I think about Silicon Valley and the culture, right? Like Europe is a lot more like systematic. Everyone, closes shop in August or July, whatever, summer, if goes on vacation or whatever. But here it's more dynamic, I feel, and it depends on the need. It depends on what people feel like and what they want to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think a better word is lifestyle. You choose. It's holistic, right? It's like the things that you relax under help support the things that you're intense under, and it all plays together. And it's even important. I forget who I was talking to. I have so many great conversations, but the importance of having your family on board, right? Because if something's going to constantly be pulling at you for so many hours and you love doing this, I think that's the definition of passion. Passion is doing something, feeling the love and feeling the pain at the same time. They go together for the passion. It's like raising a child. You know what? I don't like getting up and feeding the child at 2 a.m. in the morning, but I love this child. I want to see it nurtured.
It's absolutely like having a child. I think building companies is like having a child, like having a baby. It's the same. Like for me, I have 2 kids, now younger kids, and I compare it so much, like the roller coaster of like one day you wake up, you're so happy. I mean, that 2 hours later they're crying.
Why'd I choose this life?
You're like flustered. And being a founder is exactly the same. You could wake up feeling like a king. You're on top of the world, and then by the time it's evening, you feel like shit, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like I'm gonna fail.
Yeah. That's such good stuff. All right, so we got a few minutes left in the show. I want to talk more about, obviously STEP in its kind of current state, and then obviously, what's next? STEP is thriving right now. You got the show coming up in San Francisco this week. You got Dubai coming up in February. Where do you see this in the future? What's next for STEP?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the big things,
and community building.
One of the big things we're trying to do now and over the next few years is grow our global kind of like community and create bridges and connections within these communities. So within, let's say, Silicon. So our event in San Francisco is very local. We're building a local community. So there's connections and bridges that happen locally, but also we want to play a bigger role in building these bridges and connections globally between startup hubs, because one thing actually that Silicon Valley did outside Silicon Valley is, other startup hubs around the world are very inspired by Silicon Valley. Founders and other hubs look up to what was built here and the companies that were created and the culture. Even STEP was inspired by one thing people we started somewhere else, but from day one we had the feeling and the vibe of Silicon Valley, but somewhere else. And you'll see that in a lot of other hubs. So from what started here back in, the 40s, 50s, 60s, and, fast forward until now, it has helped create so many various startup hubs in a lot of cities around the world. Dubai is one of them, but you have a lot of other startup hubs and where founders are building, VCs are being created, and you have these ecosystems. So a big part of our mission is to play a role in connecting both founders and investors globally across markets. So locally and globally at the same time. So we do want to expand to other cities as well in the future and continue building these bridges and connections.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And so how can people best, I got a ton more questions, but I want to make sure, because I'll forget this question. How can people best learn more about STEP? And I also want to ask you this. So how can people learn more about STEP? And then at the same time, how'd you come up with the name STEP?
Well, I'll start with the second question first. I always liked short names. my second son's name now is Neo, so it's like three letter.
One syllable. Yeah,
just like short, memorable, quick. At that time, actually, a big part of the inspiration, I think, was the early days of when TED was becoming more known.
Like TED Talks?
Yeah, TED Talks. It was the very beginning. I think TED, maybe they started around 2008 or 9, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So it was very close to the time I started like thinking about like creating STEP and so on. So I wanted a name that's like similar to TED. So yeah, just kept brainstorming and then came up with STEP. And the idea was that, it's a step up, a step forward, a step. So it had a meaning at the same time. And I think that was a great choice because people... over time, we created that brand and built like a good brand that people like.
I have this tendency when I see one syllable words like TED or STEP, is I try to figure out what's it saying. What's the breakdown? Is okay? S stands for what?
Yeah, people always ask it, but this stands for nothing actually.
But I love it. Again, so I want to speak really quick as we start to wrap up to the founders. Now, we're talking with Ray about their product being people and information and coming together. But what you've heard in the last hour is really the slowed down insights and dissecting of what it takes to build your market and what I believe takes to go to the market effectively. So how you, again, talk to one and one becomes two and two becomes four and you engage effectively and then you have them as ambassadors and you grow systematically. This is how you succeed at what you do. Going to market through community is really what I believe the signs of a founder fit with great leadership skills. And so obviously, Ray, you have that in spades. And I want people to connect with you at STEP. If they're not at the event, if they're not here in the room with us, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
So go to stepsf.com for our SF1 or stepconference.com for all our various events. We're also on social, but primarily I think is coming to one of our conferences, trying to make it to one. We host them annually, so that's when you can really like get to experience the product. Otherwise, it's just like nothing. But to your point on one thing I remembered as well, just to add on what you're saying to founders about go-to-market, I remember one thing that worked particularly well, and looking back, I think it's important to like focus, like try to find one thing that worked and double down everything into that. And one thing that worked for me really well back in the day, this was 2014 to 2017, 18 years, was email. And I changed at that time, at least with the community and audience we were at, all emails from companies where now it's changed a little bit. People have adapted that more. But back then, it was just promotional from a company name kind of like email approach. That's what everyone sent. Nobody did them. And then what I did differently is that I started sending like from my name. And I'm sending to like thousands of people, but I send them in a very personalized way and make them look almost like
a regular email.
Yeah. So to a point where, every time people say, oh, you're the guy that sends all the emails or whatever. But that helped a lot in cultivating the community and communication, just like communicating what we wanted and making us look also different again. Like it was all about like the differentiator aspect of what we're doing versus others.
That's so interesting.
But I only figured that like out later on, looking back, I was like, okay, I think that worked, in a certain way from when it comes to like marketing. Like we're never like super good at social or. But during a period of time, that worked really well.
And what do you use? I mean, just personally now, are you still an emailer or you texter?
Yeah. So now it's like over time. So that was needed, I think, during a period when we were trying to grow, to play that role. And so I didn't continue doing that until now. No, I stopped it at a certain point because it kind of like the dynamic changed, and but it worked really well at a certain point. I think it's very important when you're like go to market, when you're trying to build your first like 1,000 customers or your first whatever, to find one winning. It's very difficult to find that one thing, and sometimes even when I've tried it in other things, you find yourself doing a little bit of everything, but often that doesn't work. The little bit of everything should be done in a way that you're experimenting to find the one thing, but I think a lot of people miss that what you're trying to do is actually trying to find one thing that will stick, one method. So one method or channel or whatever you want to call it that works, and go all in on that. Whether it's X or social or email or videos or whatever you're doing, trying to do a little bit of many things with minimal resources. I mean, now it's a lot easier with,
I heard
AI,
this last night. I got to add this to this because I think this is such a huge point that you're making. When you're going to market at early stage, you're going to be overwhelmed, especially nowadays, more so than back in 2013, 14 when you first started. There's so many tools to use, but you have to create a system that works. Like if it's the email, you found that you could get closest to people through emails. Or for somebody else, it may be socials, it may be dinners. That you're going to have to find that system before you find the tool to streamline it. Because we did a go-to-market panel. I was moderating a panel last night on go-to-market. And one of the guys in the audience members after was kind of upset. He's like, man, I don't know what the tools are that I use. But he also didn't have a system that he wanted to streamline. So for those of you listening and you're waiting for the stack of tools that you use, first find the system that works, like Ray is saying. If it's email, well, then you go out and find the tools that helps kind of grow that. If it's social, then you find the tool that helps that. If it's, insert whatever your motions are that brings you closest to your audience one at a time and then grows exponentially, then find the tool that helps streamline the system.
Yeah, I guess there's what works and also what you like doing, right? So what you enjoy. Is there one thing you enjoy doing more than it doesn't feel as forced? If it's gonna feel forced to go and post on,
good one, Ray. That's a good ad.
Social every day or whatever.
Yeah,
you might not be as natural at it as something that doesn't feel as forced. So it's like, okay, finding the channel or the method that is more natural.
Okay, all right. Well, Ray, this has been a very quick hour. I could sit here and talk with you for another one.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate your insights. Look up what's the website?
StepSF.com. Yeah.
Okay, check it out. Great event. Brian, thank you. Jason, thank you for joining us. Love having you all here. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you.